Hello, this is Phil Thomas from New Era Systems. Test today is of an iDirect 3100 series satellite modem, satellite router, same thing, two different names. What I need to do is to verify that it will put out L-band signal. I also need to check that it's unlocked. Locking is something that iDirect will do at the request of the hub owner. Very often these modems are given to a customer in return for a year's service or 2 years service. But sometimes the customers will decide that they've been given the modem, they're going to move their service somewhere else and just keep the modem. iDirect have a way around this. They lock it. And only the hub operator, the original hub operator, can unlock it and allow it to be used in other environments. So those are the two things that we're going to check today with this modem. The way I'm going to do it is with a very old Windows computer. This computer is so old that it's got a serial port on it. Serial ports are just about non-existent nowadays. But using the serial port, we connect directly with this modem. That's the first stage because I've got to establish what the IP address of this modem is. Then I set the IP address on the computer to match that of the modem, and that way I can talk to the modem over the Ethernet port of the computer to the Ethernet port of the modem and accomplish the things that I need to accomplish. This is the back of the modem. The green plug is the Ethernet cable connected directly back to the Ethernet port on the computer. The black cable is connected to the serial port on the computer, and that will be initially used over hyperterm. The other ports, one is transmit over to the far left. Let me show you this one, and this one is going to be the receive that would come from an LNB. The transmit port normally puts out a 24 volt DC that can be used to power the buck. On the receive port, or the LNB port, it puts out about 12 to 18 volts because LNBs also need power. Now let's go over to the computer and start testing. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to bring up the iDirect version of hyperterm. Now with that done, I'm going to fire up the modem, and you'll see it start to do its initial tests. Now what I need to do, I need to stop it before it goes all the way through into loading the Falcon operating system. And at this stage I just do this by hitting the spacebar a couple of times. Still got a little bit more processing. There it is, and it stops at the red boot command. Now below this you can see I've got something called a cheat sheet. There's quite a few commands that need to be copied and put onto into the hyperterm window. So I simply copy and paste. When it completes this, it will give me a prompt. Where I'll be able to examine the IP address on this particular modem. You see the hash, it's ready for a command. The command for the IP address is ifconfig. Okay, the top line here under iNet address 10.3.4.2 is how this particular modem is set up, and it also has a mask of 252. All of this information is important because now I'm going to go onto the computer and I'm going to set the IP address of the computer to match this. So it's, let me just note again, 10.3.4.2. Alright, now shortcut to network connections there. Properties, down to Internet Protocol, properties. Okay, here it is. This is what I need to change. So I'm going to change it to 10, 03, 004, and 003, because I'm going to make a different address just by one. And I need to change this from 248 to 252. So the gateways match as well. Okay, everything's done, and it's just setting this up in the computer right now. Okay, I can close this out. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to reboot this modem, and I'm going to reboot it and let it run all the way through to the operating system. And once I do that, because the computer and the modem are pretty well in sync as far as the IP is concerned, I should be able to go in and start examining the details that I need to examine on the modem, particularly whether the thing is locked or not. Okay, I'm reconnecting the power cable, and on Hyperterm, in the top window, you'll see it start to reboot, and it will take probably about a minute to go all the way through until it gets to the Falcon startup. Okay, now as it has booted all the way up to iDirect login, I'm going to bring up the iDirect software. It's called iSite, and I've got a shortcut on the desktop. Now it's going to look over the Ethernet port to see if it can find a modem. Now it's found it, and it confirms that it's a 3100 and that this serial number of the modem is 19462. And I'm going to go to, let me see, root, and I'm going to give that same password, which is uppercase P at 55W0RD bang. See if we can get into this. Yes, and we're going to go in via telnet, TLNET space 0. And now it's going to require admin, and I'm going to assume it's got using the same password, uppercase P at 55W0RD bang. Okay, let's see what commands we've got available. We'll start off with TX. Okay, yes, the full TX commands are available. So first I'm going to look at the frequency, and I'm going to say TX FREQ. You can see that up there, FREQ, TX FREQ, and it confirms that it's a 1000 megahertz. Okay, now the next thing I want to do is make sure that I turn off the power. And so this time, TX IFL uppercase DC space OFF OFF. Okay, did it that time. And I've just looked at the back of the modem that you can't see, and the buck power supply light has in fact gone off. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to connect a cable from the transmit port of the modem to the spectrum analyzer. Now this is going to be an F to F connection. I'm going to go down to my cheat sheet, and down here I can see what the command is to turn the CW on and off. There it is, TX CW on, TX CW on. Okay. So now we should have a nice fat carrier on the spectrum analyzer. There it is. So it's transmitting okay, transmitting right on the money at 1000 megahertz. Now I need to go back to the telnet session and check on the lock status of this particular modem. The command to verify the lock is RMT lock status. RMT LOCK STATUS. Lock is not engaged. This remote is free to join any network, which is exactly what I wanted to see. So I can be confident that when I send this out, that it's transmitting okay. I haven't tested the receive side because typically this modem is part of a network. And the options file that I put into it is a very generic options file, and so I wouldn't expect it to understand very much on the receive side. But we guarantee everything we sell. If it turns out that there is a problem on the receive side of this modem, we'll simply take it back, refund the money, or we will replace it with another one. I'm confident that this modem is functioning, and I'm happy to wrap up the test now and move on to something else.